Good morning, world. I wanted to make another quick little post here. I just recently recorded a video for our morning routines about reading, but this one's actually about money. I was preaching to myself in the car, basically, yesterday about money because I myself find so many times where it's just this constant struggle. And I'm not specifically talking about a love of money. It's not an internal struggle like that. It's to me, in my evaluation, it's a lack of discipline, if you will, a lack of diligence in the handling of money. Now, it's easy for someone to say, "Oh, I'm going to leave all that money-loving stuff to those people who are always consumed with getting rich and those who are always consumed with getting more." That's not the point. The point is, we are told by God to be wise stewards. We are told by God to be diligent. So, all that He has given us and everything you have, including your health, is a gift from God. Every person in your life, every material possession you have, all of it. Even every ability in your life, the way your mind works, all of that's a gift from God. What are you doing with it? Are you being a wise steward of what God has given you, including the money that you make? If you're not tracking your expenses, if you're not determining how you put back your savings or investments, you're just letting it happen however it happens, and you keep finding yourself at the end of the month saying, or at the end of payroll or whatever pay period, saying, where did it all go? Or, man, I thought we were gonna have more this time. Well, I don't understand. I just don't understand how this keeps happening. Listen, I do understand how it keeps happening. I can clue you in on the secret. You're not tracking your expenses. If that is the conclusion, the statement you keep finding yourself making. Otherwise, you would say, "Oh, I do know exactly where it all went, and this is why we didn't have enough this month or this pay period. I know exactly where it all went, and this is how much extra we have." Here's the point. I'm not a bookkeeper. I do not love accounting. Oh, no. That was one of the very first things I tried to delegate out. My problem is I abdicated it, just like so many other things that I have had a problem with, instead of delegating. So to delegate something, you have to keep a pulse, keep a finger on how well it's doing. And if you're not doing that, it's called abdication, not delegation. If you abdicate something you don't understand, you have no clue what's going on in that thing. And you can't do that well. You can't be a wise steward of it. If God's given it to you to be responsible, you cannot just relinquish the authority and take no measure of how it's going. It's not the way it works. It can't work that way. So delegate, keep accountability, fine. But the thing is, we are responsible. I am responsible for what I do with the money in my business, in my home, in my family, as the leader of my family. Now, if you and your spouse, you keep your accounts separate or whatever, that doesn't matter. If you're the man of the house, you are in charge of leading this. If you're in a situation where there isn't a man in the house and God's given you this money, you still need to be a wise steward of that money, regardless whether man or woman. So I would want to encourage you, and I want to challenge you to find excitement, find a joy, find a pleasure, not in the love of money, but in what you can do, how much a bigger impact you can make when you are able to save. Find an excitement and a thrill in, woohoo, I just got this much extra at the end of my payroll, at the end of my pay period, at the end of the month, whatever it is for you. And so imagine what you could do with that. Imagine, even if it's just $10 a month, $10 a week, whatever it is, you could give, you could share. Now, we do need to be wise in that as well. This isn't an investment strategy podcast, a retirement planning podcast, or a video, I'm sorry. I'm not making podcasts, really. But you can do this. Even if you're not a financial master, it's not algebra Oh man, when my daughter went through algebra, I literally thought my wife was about to go to jail and my daughter was going to get taken away because we homeschool our kids and algebra was a doozy. Anyway, thankfully, my wife walked in the spirit and he gave her some long suffering that honestly I think was supernatural because I love my daughter, but wow. Anyway, where was I going with that? It does require a little bit of time, a little bit of basic stuff. Free software is out there. It doesn't even cost you to keep record of this stuff. It requires that you log in, whatever, to your bank or whatever. You look at your statement if you're old school. You record the expenses. You see where it all went, and you track it, and you see what you could improve on. If it's not measured, it can't be improved. If it is measured, it almost always is improved. Because you have this reality check that cannot lie. Numbers cannot lie. I like what one of the podcasts I listen to says, math is the path. If you want to find the direction, if you want to get down the road, you've got to know some of the numbers in your business, in your personal financial budget. Dave Ramsey has a really cool app out there called Every Dollar. You can share it with your spouse, and you can even have it set up to log in to your bank account and automatically pull those things for a fee. It's like $10 a month, right now at least, to do that. So if you don't have the extra $10 a month, don't do that. Just log in and enter the stuff on the phone. It literally takes like 1 minute, 2 minutes a day. Do it. It's worth it. Track it, and then look back at the end of the month and say, all right, so, or look back at the end of the week and say, all right, this is what we did, this is what we can do, we've got to have a plan. All right, I hope that's encouragement. I hope it's a challenge, a little bit of a rant, because I'm preaching to myself more than I'm talking to you guys, and I hope that it'll help you see the importance of knowing your numbers.